Yo, what's good up about us? Your boy MD. Long time no see. And this is, I haven't done a video like this for a long time, but the New Year's coming up, 2021. And before the New Year's upon us, I wanted to share my experiences of 2020. Everything that went down, and then my plans for 2021. So let's start with 2020, man. And the plan for this year was simple. And I started hardcore planning for this year, 2019, August. Pretty much 15 Corn Ferry Tour event starts. I was going to try and qualify there, and it started down in Florida. In order to do that, I wanted to go the RV way instead of the plane way. So the RV process, man, buying that thing took a long time, and it wasn't buying it that was the issue. The issue was finding the right one. And we didn't need the biggest vehicle in the world. We just needed something big enough to fit me and Oldie easily. And then the most important part was the driving machine. You know what I mean? I needed someone that could do all these miles easily, not break down, none of that, right? And we almost did go with the car route and put our stuff in the back, but we ended up doing the RV thing after the family vetoed the car idea. We found the RV that we wanted. It was in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and this was in January. We flew down to Florida in January. The plan was to fly down there and drive it back. And again, this is Fort Lauderdale, so we went down there, we bought it, picked it up, looked like it was in good shape. We were obviously gonna make sure that nothing was wrong with it, take it to a mechanic and all that, but we drove it back. It was me, Oldie, Mom, and the little bro. And let me tell you, that drive back to Vermont took a long time. It was long. I forget how many days it took. I know it was long. Eventually ended up in Vermont. And jeez, man. But before we drove it back, everything mechanically looked like it was okay. Nothing too wrong with it. The next order of business was to get it wrapped. So I went to life-size wraps. I showed them the idea, the concept, the pattern that I wanted. They said they could do it, no problem. And hopefully Apple buddies know what the RV looks like by now. If you don't, I'll put a picture up. But it turned out great. Got it blacked out, got the sticker on it on the side, logo and everything, got my handle at the bottom. Pretty happy with the way it turned out. And I think the whole wrap process, that was done end of January, maybe cut into February a little bit. And everything was delayed because I was supposed to leave for Florida in January, just after my brother's birthday, which is January 11th. And, everything got delayed a little bit. But, we were pretty happy with the wrap, so we got the RV packed up, ready to go, say one last goodbye to the family, because before we left, the idea was we were only supposed to come back to Vermont in August. And part of that was because I did have a tournament up in Maine around there. So we were only supposed to come back in August. I think it was around my birthday, the 22nd. So we leave for Florida, and we're driving to Orlando. That's where I figured would be best. Pretty good spot. And we almost died on the way there. I don't know if we made a video about it. I don't think we did. But yeah, no. So we were driving on the highway, man, and this dude straight up passes us on the left side. And he just breaks our window straight up. And I think we had to get it taped up until we could get that fixed. And it was just broken for a while. It was bad. But we got to Florida. And I think and this is so long, bro. I don't remember exactly. I think we were chilling in North Florida for a bit. And it was cold in North Florida, by the way. It was cold. South Georgia and North Florida at this time of year. It's cold. I think we were chilling there. I think we did some stuff in the golf course there. I could be wrong. But I do know we ended up in Orlando. And the course we were staying at, or the course that we decided to make home, was Orange County National. The course was great. Had a great range facility. Biggest range in America. And a lot of training went down there. We stayed in the RV for a little bit, and by stayed I mean we lived in it for a little bit, and then eventually we ended up finding a place called Wood Spring Suites, and that place had a course near it called Champions Gate. Champions Gate is where we would go and practice some short game at night now and again, because it was like a 2-minute drive up the road or something like that. But Wood Spring Suites itself was about 20 minutes away from OCN. So, my mom found that place for us. It's a great place. The reason why we're staying at a hotel was because we only wanted to use the RV when we absolutely needed to. And we were gonna need to use it when we started playing the tournaments and going through the 15 states and all that. And I know I said 15 tournaments. There was a couple more, Oregon and Idaho. There's 2 tournaments in those 2 states that we weren't sure if we were gonna do or not. And if we did do them, we probably would have parked the RV in Minnesota and then flown to Oregon and Idaho, because those states are so far to the west. It's just, and then we would have to drive there and drive all the way back. So that would have been a plane fly. But so now, the timeline is, I don't know, man. The timeline should be like mid-February, late February. So at this point, I did have a couple lessons with Coach Tony Luxak here and there, and we fixed some stuff up. At that time, I think my backswing was too far up or something stupid. It's one of those mechanical things. It happens over time. As far as working out goes, didn't really do too much. Before I left for Florida, I was working out at the Aquatic Center here in Vermont, 5 minutes down the road. I worked out there for like 12 weeks. We had a 12-week program with a personal trainer. Didn't really see too many gains from it. You know what I mean? And it was a mix. It wasn't really cardio. I guess it was. It was a mix of cardio and strength and all that, but didn't really see the gains that you would expect to see from a 12-week program. And then already my dad knew something was up, but we'll get to that later. All I'm saying is, man, you work for 12 weeks and you don't see anything. That's kind of a yikes. But when we're in Florida, I didn't really do too much working out. There was a gym in Wood Spring Suites that I used. I did 1 or 2 or 3 lessons or sessions with Sweet Coach Bennett. I don't know if you have brothers remember him. I did some videos back in the day. His whole setup is down in Burlington, so I used to go down there. And then it wasn't Burlington, it was Boston. So I would drive 2 hours, do the workout, get McDonald's on the way back, drive home. That was like years ago. And I was pretty much, at this time, I started to play the game every other day. I would try and we did videos about this as well. I would try and do a new course every other day, using the Golf Now app. Any courses around OCN is where I would set the app to, and I would do I would do a playing day, and then I would do a training day. And the training day was at OCN. Did a bunch of range work, a bunch of short game work. And we would walk 9 holes there. And training was hard. So listen to this, man. When we first got to Orange County and I first started doing some real golf work, and this is heavy training because I'm literally supposed to be, I'm a pro golfer, dude. I'm supposed to be doing all these tournaments now, so I'm doing some real training here. I started off, I think my numbers were pretty good. Driver numbers were okay. Iron numbers were okay. Overall distance and accuracy was okay. And then as the weeks went on, not even, dude, scratch that. As the days went on, everything started deteriorating, right? And this was also around the time where I would go outside just to get into the RV to drive to OCN, and I would be allergic to the sun, man. I wouldn't have any rashes, but my skin would literally, every time I sit down in the sun, would just start itching like crazy. And I didn't say anything about it. Didn't say anything about it to Oldie, even though that was kind of alarming, being allergic to the sun. Didn't say anything about it. Maybe it would irritate me for about 30 minutes and then it would go away. It happened a lot when I was practicing short game in the bunker, the sun reflecting off the sand. That's when it happened the most. It was that mixed with the distance loss, and we were you shouldn't be losing distance like every other day, and it was kind of alarming. We were I had the Whoop on at the time. The Whoop was showing that I wasn't sleeping great. Recovery was low. At this point, we thought that all of this was the sleep's fault. Getting 5 hours of sleep a night average for being in bed for 9 hours, 5 to 4 hours, so it wasn't good. Tried everything, melatonin, tried a legit sleeping pill. The sleeping pill sort of worked. I think it got me 6.5 hours average. It kind of worked. It was weird, man. That sleeping pill made me like literally made my whole body movement slower. Like I had to get up to the bathroom one night and I was still on the pill, and my I felt like I just got out of anesthesia, man. But the sleeping pill kind of worked. My recovery probably went from like 12 to 20% to 55 to 60%, which was enough to get by. It was kind of enough to do the day's work and all that. So the sickness is starting to come on here, but again, I didn't tell anyone too much. Just assumed it was sleep. I remember this one day. I know Florida's supposed to be warm and all that, but I had this one lesson with Coach Tony, and this was when my mom and bro came down to visit us. You know, we would do some fun stuff while they were here, but I had this one lesson, and it was in the morning, and it was like 55 degrees, and I would take 55 degrees right now because there's snow outside, but it was 55 degrees. But this was the coldest 55 I've ever felt in my life. Balls freezing, hands frozen. And we actually got good work in that day somehow. I don't even know how, because I know I was having a path issue that day, or that week I was having path issues, and we fixed it. So I was actually feeling pretty good, but it was so cold. But we were just, Coach Tony and I were just trying to keep on regular talking terms, because I was supposed to, while I was going through the United States, it feels pretty cool that I can say that, while I was driving through the United States, one of my stops was Mississippi. So I was gonna stop over there, and we were finally gonna do some in-person coaching, and I forget when that was supposed to be, but I was supposed to play my tournament in Florida. There was a tournament in Florida that I needed to do. I was getting ready for that when I went to OCN. After the tournament in Florida, I was supposed to get on to Mississippi, which never happened. I was supposed to get on to Mississippi around April 9th. So look, I do my regular training regime for a while, and you know, I go to golf, whether it would be playing the game at one of the courses or whether it would be training at OCN. On the way home, I'd go to Publix pretty much every day. I don't know how. There was always something we needed or forgot to get the day before. Yeah, every day we went to Publix. And if I can remember this timeline correctly, right? So it was probably, I don't know when we got notified, but I know it was beginning of April was when we really started to see this whole COVID thing start to happen. And this was early in the year, right? So nobody was really taking it too seriously. February. Yeah, but we didn't really give a damn about until...
We weren't anywhere near April. We were home in March.
Home in March?
Yeah.
January, February, March. Dude, we did not spend that long in Florida.
Yes.
Dude, I'm thinking like, yo, we were in Florida for like years. A month in Florida. It was February that we started to get wind of this whole COVID thing, bro. You know, it started in China and all that, and then it moved to Europe and the United States and all that. And we weren't one of those Karens that just didn't acknowledge COVID. You know what I mean? We didn't want to speak to COVID's manager. But no. So one of the women that rents from my mom, she notified my mom and said, you know, this whole COVID thing is starting to get serious. Places are going to go into lockdown and all that. And, you know, she just gave her a bunch of info on COVID. And then my mom spoke to us. She let us know what's up, just gave us the information, asked us what we want to do. We weren't, a lot of things up in the air at the moment. Weren't sure if, you know, they were going to lock Florida down or whatnot. We didn't want to get stuck in Florida. I know the Corn Ferry Tour ended up, you know, suspending those events I was supposed to play in. And, you know, maybe it was March, because it was March, yeah. So it was around March, after a bunch of going back and forth, made the decision to head home to VT, mostly because if anything happened to Oldie at the time, it was just me and Oldie traveling together for the most part. This whole trip was supposed to be me and Oldie. And if anything happened to him, you know, I would kind of be stranded because, you know, what am I supposed to do? You know, I ain't got no driver's license. Can't really take care of him too much. You know what I mean? Sorry. So yeah, I would say March we start to make plans to head home. The drive home took 2 days. Took 2 days. Which was a lot faster than the drive home back in January in Fort Lauderdale. I know that drive took a couple of days. It took like 4 days or something. Drive home from Orlando took 2 days. But we were punching it. We were rushing to get home. We didn't want to get stuck anywhere. We were thinking of stopping on the way home to play some golf courses, because you gotta understand, we were pretty much headed home back to winter. Ended up making the decision not to stop. Gunned it home, 2-day drive. As the more north we went, the colder it went. Pretty much the whole way home, I was just eating cold boiled eggs. Pretty good, actually, not that bad. So, yeah, forget the date that we arrived home, but we arrived home, say hi to the family, everything was up. But this is actually just where the beginning of my troubles started, actually. So, how I was talking about that whole sickness thing in Florida. The Whoop was still giving me some pretty trash numbers when I got home. Like for the first 2 weeks, it was just bad recovery after bad recovery after bad recovery. 10% through 20% average. And eventually I went to a sleep doctor, because we still think it's sleep, and he said some sleep hygiene, normal, don't do screens before bed, don't drink coffee before bed, all that. Only thing you want to be doing mentally maybe is reading before bed, all that sleep hygiene stuff, which I already did. So he just said stuff that we already knew, didn't really help. I continued the melatonin when we got home, and eventually I went to a legit doctor, finally. And it turned out it was hyperthyroidism, also known as Graves' disease. When I went to the doctor, he pretty much just did a normal vital check, and he didn't have to, we didn't have to be there very long before he noticed my thyroids. And I don't know how big they are now, right? They're right here. I don't know how big they are now, but they were much bigger. And he literally just looked at me and he saw how big they were. So I had to lay on the bed, lean my head back, and he felt them. He was like, yeah, okay, you're messing up. No, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what all the numbers were, but I know it was like 4 or 5 times more thyroid than I needed in my body, and that's what was causing all of the, all the bad numbers, all the, I don't know what the allergic to the sun was, but it was causing all the tiredness, lack of energy and all that. Too much damn thyroid in my body. We don't need it. So I went on some pills. I think it started out as 3. I don't know the pill name. I'm not even gonna try, but it was 3 small pills, 1 big pill. And I probably did that through August. And then I went to 2 pills until very recently. Probably till November. Had to have been November. So I did 3 pills till August, and while this is going on, I pretty much can't really practice golf while we're home, which was sad, because we got home pretty much. Spring was just starting out. Couldn't really practice golf. Numbers were bad. And it got to the point where it wasn't even the sun that was irritating my body anymore. It was just heat in general. I had to keep my room 60 degrees. I had an air conditioner in here, would run it all the time. Maybe even 55 degrees. I was pretty much a freaking penguin. And that's actually when I started my second esports team, and I forget when we did it. It was probably around August, something like that, or before August. Started in a game called Valorant, team game, and grinded that for quite a while, about 100 days, around 100 days to be exact. Got some teammates, started doing some scrims and all that. It was pretty much the same deal that we used to do with Overwatch. I don't know if you guys even remember that, but that's pretty much what Valorant was. This is Counter-Strike Global Offensive with Overwatch's abilities. It's like 2 games and a baby. Did that for 100 days. Got to Immortal in that. Got to Immortal and then kind of just quit because I don't know, man. There's something about me and team games that just don't mix. It's not that I don't like having a team. It's just dealing with people. And I know I gotta learn this life skill, but dealing with people 24/7 like this, man, and playing the people game, man, and it's, you'll see it in esports, bro. You'll see it. You really gotta have the gang on your side, bro. And I mean, people get kicked out of their own teams just for one idiot. talking trash, bro. It's the same thing that happened with Carter back in Overwatch, and I just didn't feel like dealing with that, bro. And it was starting to. I didn't feel like dealing with it, so I left that game. Kind of took a break for a while. Started up Street Fighter. I'm trying to think now, when did I actually start hitting balls again? It still wasn't until recent. Started up Street Fighter, and I was pretty bad at it because I hadn't played Street Fighter since 2019. So it's been like a year. Started up again, started at gold, so grinded up through the ranks. Found a coach a little later on, Chris T. He won a couple of tournaments here and there, but that's doing pretty well. Got up to diamond, found a couple of sparring partners here and there. Maybe it was around, November. If you go back to the Graves' disease thing, pretty much March to August couldn't really do anything because I was on heart rate pills. That's one of the side effects from this whole hyperthyroidism, is your heart rate it's permanently high. I think mine was at 150 to 140 resting. So if I worked out or if I did anything, any energy exertion, it would be like 170, 180, too damn high. I started working out with Mr. Jeff Flagg in August because I was finally off the heart rate pill, still on the thyroid pills, off the heart rate pill. Heart rate was kind of back to normal, like 50, 60, something like that, so I could actually start working out again. We had to take the workout slow because I didn't do anything physical for a couple months. I mean, we did some simple stretches and I pulled muscles here and there. It was pretty bad. But we got through it. August, September, October is when I started hitting balls. And, the workouts eventually got harder and harder. It was good. Finally started to feel like I was finally getting healthy to a certain extent. Started hitting balls in October. Continued to hit balls through November. Now it's December. And for the most part, I'm trying to hit balls like 3 days a week. I'm trying to work out with Mr. Jeff 3 days a week. And then I'm trying to do, and this is new, I'm trying to do that M.A.T sesh once a week. With Mr. David Powell. 1 week we'll do M.A.T and 1 week we'll do ISOFIT, two different things, although very similar. So I don't know what we're doing. This week, but no, actually it was the week after this. So I think next week we're doing an ISOFIT sesh. So whenever we don't have a sesh, I'll try and do some work in the ISOFIT. It's pretty much just iso holds, trying to get the muscles activated and all that. The difference between that and M.A.T is M.A.T you're lying on a table, and the instructor is going to be holding you positions and doing it himself instead of the bar. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I think I just need more experience with it, but it doesn't seem to be hurting, so it is what it is. Continue to do that. Now we're pretty much at present day. That's pretty much what my year looked like. Year was supposed to be a very active, competitive year. The first year where I finally actually got a whole lot of tournaments in, because before this year I didn't really play too many tournaments. I would play the New England Open. I think I played the New England Open in 2018. I was going to start playing the Vermont Open. I'll probably try and play it this year, and the New England Open. Didn't really play too many tournaments before this year, so it was supposed to be, the first real professional, like that orgasm stuff. I might have to delete that. I'm gonna edit that out. But this year was supposed to be one thing and ended up another. And this hyperthyroidism, it did kind of stunt my growth a bit. I don't feel like I'm as tall as I should be. I'm definitely not as heavy as I should be. Light, featherweight. And now I'm on this eating program, self-made, trying to get a bunch of protein in every day. Bunch of protein, bunch of calories, trying to get that weight up to at least to 180, because then we can at least start working with that. But I don't know, man. I gotta eat so much per day because of my metabolism, man. It's insane. Like, I just burn calories doing so little. And I honestly, back in that winter, 2018 winter, when I was doing the whole Overwatch team, man, and I didn't train too much golf that winter because it was like polar vortex levels of cold, man. And I was sitting in my chair every day, bro. Not too much physical stuff, sitting in my chair eating. I wasn't eating unhealthily, but eating, and I still didn't gain weight. And they said this hyperthyroidism thing didn't just start this year. It's been in me for a long time, and the symptoms only kind of showed up this year, and it really started getting bad. This dates back to a couple summers ago, man, but yeah, I don't know. I'm on a pill. I don't know if I'm gonna get them taken out or what. Figure that out next year, but I mean, present day, pretty healthy for the most part. I had this last week I had some super bad recovery, So we went back to 2 thyroid pills, and it turns out I guess it was the thyroid, because second I go back to 2 thyroid pills, it immediately jumps up to 80% average, and then maybe 8 hours of sleep on average. I mean, I'm sleeping pretty damn good, man. Parents thought it was COVID for a little bit. Luckily, it wasn't. At least I don't think so. Respiratory rate, heart rate, all that's kind of normal now, so feeling pretty good. And yeah, and we got New Year's Eve Thursday, New Year's on Friday, bro. At least, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not too salty about this year. I think I'm more salty about how much I lost physically to this hyperthyroidism, how much bigger I should be. I think that's what I'm salty about. I'm not really salty about the golf, even though I should be. I'm salty more about how much I lost physically. It's like I should literally just be a bigger person now. I'm 17 years old. I should just be bigger. And now I gotta do all this extra stuff now just because I missed out on growing normally. Now I gotta try hard to grow. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, so we'll make it work. But plans for 2021, man, I'm just gonna continue working with Mr. Jeff through this winter. I'm gonna continue doing the m.a.t. I'm gonna continue hitting balls in Studio 54, keep playing those courses, keep doing the yardage tests and all that. But hopefully I can get more playing rounds in the simulator. And then hopefully, we'll see what COVID has to offer in 2019. We'll see what the vaccine has to offer in 2019. I won't be the first buyer. Let other people test it out first. But I'm just...
2021.
That's what I said, 2021.
Shit, 2019 twice.
Do you even want to cut that out, or do you just... Whatever, man. So, 2021. I'll see what COVID's doing. This next year, I'm pretty much just gonna be camping at Cuichi. I haven't been to Cuichi all of 2020. Last time I was at Cuichi was 2019. So it's gonna be well over a year. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know how many people who still play at the club are alive. You know what I mean? I don't know how many are alive. I don't know how many died. A lot happens in a year. But yeah, I'll head back to Cuichi around May 5th. They should open around there. Grind all year, and then. I'm gonna do what I was supposed to do in 2020. I'm gonna do it maybe 2022. The 15 tournament Corn Ferry qualifiers. I'm gonna do that again. I don't know when, but I'll do it again. That's my plans for 2021. That's what happened in 2020. We win or we learn. We win or we learn. So hopefully everybody's had a great day. I just thought I would come out here and share what's been going on. And peace.